everybody.
Hi everyone.
Welcome to Twinset and Purl's Knitting Podcast, episode 21. Hi.
21.
I'm Jo.
I'm Rachel.
And together we are Twinset and Purl. We design knitting patterns. I design shawls. Rachel designs socks, mostly, a few sweaters. And yeah, we just like to say welcome back to everybody who, if you've been here before, and a warm welcome to any new viewers.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoy our little episode. We're actually going to release two episodes,
Well, two videos.
One is going to be our usual video in our usual format, where we'll talk about what we're wearing, our FOs, whips, and some acquisitions. And then we're going to do a separate video about Unravel festival, which we went to over the weekend.
Lots of acquisitions.
Lots of acquisitions. We were there for 3 days.
Yeah, so we just think that if people don't like acquisitions, that they can just not.
Or they can watch the beginning of it, because we will be having a bit of a debrief about how we found the festival and all of that sort of thing. Yeah, so, but we thought it was going to be quite a lot for one episode, so we split it into two parts. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today.
And just to let you know that everything we talk about will be in as much detail as we can muster in the down bar below. No, in the description box.
Often we give a link to a website rather than individual. So we talk about a dyer or a manufacturer or whatever. We'll put the link to their website rather than a specific product. If patterns, we do tend to put the pattern link in. Cool.
Yes.
So we'll just start with a bit of admin. Wanted to remind everybody that we have got a Ravelry group for the podcast. There's a few threads in there, two for our KALs, which we've got going, which we'll talk about in a minute, and then a general what are you knitting of Twinset and Purl patterns, and what are you generally knitting. It'd be great if people could share everything they're working on, give people ideas. We love to see if you're knitting on our patterns, but we also love to see other patterns that people are knitting, because we don't just knit our patterns.
And the group is getting bigger, gradually. So
I think we've got 108 members. So yeah, and each month we give a prize from what you're knitting of Twinset and Purl patterns. So if you put your whips and finished objects in there, you get a chance to win a prize, which is a pattern of your choice from Ravelry. It doesn't have to be one of our patterns. We will happily pay for it and gift you a pattern. So it'd be fab to see what people are doing.
Yeah, so you might as well say who this month's winner is.
Yeah, so this week...
Well, having said that, there's still a day left of February.
Yeah, but they're not... People won't.
Okay.
If you post today, we'll include you in next month.
Yeah. Because we have picked... There's only one person.
There's only one person. So it's Sandy Tom. Thank you, Sandy.
Sandy Tom Knit.
Sandy Tom Knit. Sandy had done a lady bristledown sweater.
Yeah.
So that's and it's lovely.
Yeah. But just to remind everyone that if you join in the knit-alongs and you post in the chat or the FO thread, you can put those things in. As long as it's one of our patterns, you can put those things also in the other thread and maybe win a pattern prize.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right,
leads us on to KALs.
Leads on to KALs. So we've got two KALs at the moment. A KAL for the Maurice Shawl and a Scrappy Sock KAL.
Yeah.
So the Maurice KAL is running until the end of March. And the Scrappy Sock is going to be an ongoing KAL.
So the prize is, it's a year-long KAL which ends on leap year, 29th of February next year, 2024. I couldn't believe when I wrote that in the blurb.
It does seem like a long time since we've had a leap year, but it's only obviously 3 years, but it does seem like a long time.
Yeah. And we'll pick prizes as we go along, or pull winners as we go along to win a prize. So it might be a pattern, it might be something else. So if you're a maker, a designer, and you'd like to gift a pattern as a prize, then let us know. We have got a prize that's been gifted to show you in a minute. First of all, I just wanted to talk about the Maurice KAL a bit more. So this is the Maurice Shawl that Joe designed. When did it come out? Must be January.
It came out when the weekend we were at
Waltham Abbey. January then.
Yeah, mid-January.
And it's this big crescent shawl with this lace pattern on the edge and garter rib in between, but it's knitted sideways, so you never have a lot of stitches on your needle. The rows aren't long. So I haven't made any progress on mine, which you'll see why in a minute, because I've been doing other things. But I do love it, and you still have time to knit one, I think, if you started now. So join in the chatter thread as well and show us what yarn you're going to do. And if you haven't bought the pattern yet, you can use our bonus code for the podcast, which is bonus 20. All that information's down below. Excuse me. So you can use that on Ravelry to get 20% off any of our patterns, except the charity ones, but Maurice is included in that.
And the Bridgerton sock books.
Oh yeah, the ebooks for the Bridgerton collection, they're already discounted if you buy an ebook. So yeah, cool. So then the prize that I received, we think we're going to put for the Scrappy Socks because
of what's in it.
I thought they were just sending a project bag, but it's so beautifully wrapped.
We've tried to...
Yeah, so it's Lysander and Olive on Instagram and Etsy, and it's handmade. And then, I mean, I have to say it did look bigger than a project bag, and they've actually included 5 20-gram minis. They're Valentine's colourway, and I messaged her to say thank you that it arrived, and it was so beautifully packed that I hadn't wanted to undo it to have a look. And she said, oh, please undo it and tell me if you think if it's okay. So I gently peeled back this edge and we can all have a peek. Because it's beautiful. I'm sorry for the crinkling, everybody. I will pull it out a little bit now so I can put a peek. So it's these beautiful minis and this Liberty print bag, which I think is the next size up from the ones that I bought. But it's beautiful.
Oh, good.
So that will be in the prize for the Scrappy Sock KAL. I'm really sorry about the crinkling. Hopefully that wasn't too bad. Yeah. So there. So yeah, join in everybody if you can, if you'd like to. And also, I will put down here what the hashtags are. I'll have already put the Maurice one in, and I will put here what the Scrappy one is.
Cool.
Although they are in the information in the group, what things that everything is. Yeah, so that's what and that's what I'm wearing. This was your second one you knitted, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it's in Kremke
Lazy Linen.
In this lovely beige colour.
It's actually called light green.
Right, it's light green.
But it doesn't look light green.
It's light green, everybody.
I
But
guess
it's
it's got a very slight
and
green
it just
tinge.
Oh, I love it. I am looking forward to having mine. I will get it done. Mine's kind of autumnal colours though, so
could nicely with that.
it would, yeah, it's yours though. Borrowing. Twinnie's here for a week.
Right, so we're going to move on to
What
what
are you
we're
wearing?
Yeah.
I've done, yeah, that's what I said.
Cool, so I'm actually wearing one of my FOs. And I was knitting it in the last podcast. It now has a name.
Oh, that's why I thought you hadn't finished it last time.
No, I hadn't. So this is my latest shawl design. And we're going to be very careful not to cover our faces, because one of our lovely viewers said that people who are trying to lip read, when we cover over our faces,
so I won't
struggle.
And we can cover my face.
Okay. So it's the same shape as Maurice, but it's just garter, and it has these different blobs of mohair that form the pattern, and they where they overlap, you put both colours together.
So it's only one strand at a time of mohair?
Yeah, unless you're doing that, and then,
so
you've,
it's
got,
not
then
like,
you've got a strand of grey and a strand of mustard.
So like that isn't mohair held?
No, that's mohair held singly, and then that's only double where you cross over the colours.
Wow.
But when you put it on, you they all kind of come, you get a bit of everything. So, and it's designed to have one end blue and one end mustard, and then you get that bit of grey. So yeah, and so we're calling it the Cecil Shawl, and that is named after our dad, who's Cecil Anthony.
His first name.
Everybody calls him Tony, but I just love his name Cecil.
And you didn't want to call it Tony
Didn't
Shawl.
want to call it Tony Shawl. So, and Cecil's a little bit unique, isn't it? They don't get many Cecils, so he's quite special.
Not in this country anyway. Anymore.
No. So he's special. I haven't started writing the pattern up yet, but it is going to be a chart, not a written pattern. Because
a bit of a written pattern.
No, because the increases are on the chart.
Oh.
So it may just be a chart. We'll see. I might include the written to get the shape, and then you could obviously put...
Because some people might want to freestyle it.
Yeah, you could put mohair if you want. But anyway, we will see where we get to with that. There are possibly a couple of things that have got to happen before. Just
well, if it's down the queue, that's fine.
Just from a scheduling point of view, but we'll see. Yeah, I've later on on the Unravel one, I can show you some yarn that I've been given to do the next pattern.
Exciting.
Yeah, so that's what I'm wearing, and it's also my FO.
Cool. Only one FO.
Yes, because my other whip last time was my Christmas at Bridgerton sock, which has had nothing.
No, it's a whip.
Nothing done on it.
So I've got a few FOs, and don't think by any means that this has all been done since the last podcast, because I'm counting FOs of socks that I finished the pair of. And I really have been pushing to get some whips done these last few weeks, because I want some needles back, and I'm fed up of writing. Every Joe doesn't do this. Every month, on the first of the month, I write a list of my whips, a whip roundup, if you will. And I am fed up of writing these two, and they're finished finally. So we'll go with this one first, because this is my October sock for BotanicalYarn. So I only need to knit one, because the lovely sample knitter and my knits them for the picture for the pattern, and my lovely test knitters obviously test with viewing one sock. So I knitted them a long time ago and then I finished them. So these are the Cedar Elm socks, and the pattern is still exclusive to BotanicalYarn. You can't get it as part of the Cut Club unless you were part of the club. So, but October will come out the month after next, so April. So yeah. Oh,
I love the top of them.
I didn't bring Very Veronica to show you that they came out last week.
It's a folded cuff.
It's a folded cuff.
So you get the little, it forms like a little heart on top. I really like it.
Yeah. That's just a little idea that came to me. And the other ones that I finished were the December socks, and this is Veitch's Blue Thistle, they're called, because of the little kind of spiky. This is just like a tuck stitch, but very effective. And Maggie, my lovely test knitter, her husband loved the pattern so much he knitted them for him for his birthday. For Christmas, I mean, sorry. Yeah, so those are isn't that blue lovely?
Mm.
Yeah, so I've got the other ones. I just put one on the blocker, and then I also finished. And this year, because of having to do that, I've decided that I'm finishing in the month that they come out the socks for this year's club.
Oh, that's bright.
It is, yeah. So these ones, if you want, you possibly still get somebody's at the door. Mark will go, will he? Yeah. Oh, it's Hello Fresh. He's not really happy about that. They're not delivering. Yeah, so it's probably better if I show you actually off the blocker. This is the pink. These are called Bougainvillea Bouquet. Mm. You can hear him. So they've got this little pattern down the sides and then a lace down the front, and then oh sorry, so they've got lace. The lace pattern goes down the side, and then they've got this sorry, I was going to touch the camera. This lacy kind of cluster-ish thing there, and then the lace on the side runs down the back, and it's in the cuff as well.
So eventually, in 6 months' time, this pattern will be available in our Ravelry store, but at the moment you can only get it from Botanical Yarn, and it's a club, so you buy the yarn and the pattern, and there may be a few left over because there may be a few available because it's the February.
Yeah, it's this month's colourway, so check out BotanicalYarn.com.
If you would like a brilliant, bright pair of socks.
Mm-hmm. It's like highlighter pink, isn't it?
But I think you'd smile every time you spotted them on your feet.
Yeah, I love them. I've got to Kitchen of the Toe on the second one, but it's still February. So that's good. And I think that is it for FOs. Right. If we come across any more as we're going through the project bags, we can deal with that as it comes.
Okie doke. So whips. How many whips have you got?
1, 2, 3, 4. 4 and an untouched one.
So I've got 2 with me.
Okay. So shall I go first?
Yeah.
1. Right. So if we stick with socks, I have got. I won't show you the bag yet because it came to unravel. My Bird Street February socks. So I think I showed these.
You've just done the cuff
on the second one, or the
can't remember.
Anyway,
for the February ones, have we podcasted in February?
Maybe I haven't started them because I suddenly thought I haven't. It's the 7th and I haven't started them. I need to get on with get me you know what in gear. So this is the colourway Rococo by Bird Street Yarn. It's beautiful. Look at those speckles. And you know me, can't just do vanilla sock. So I did a little cuff, just an eyelet rib. And Maggie thinks I should do that all over the sock and write it up. So you never know, it may become a pattern. Probably a free one, seeing that it's just eyelet rib, but it's very sweet.
I think you should do a pattern with 2 versions, one where you just do it at the top and one where you do it all over. Yeah, because I like a vanilla sock, but that's a nice little bit of cuff on top. Sorry, so it's really hard with 2 of us on the screen to have something held up without covering one of our faces, but so apologies for that.
We'll try and keep it to the one who's talking's mouth.
Just go.
So I've finished one and I'm on the heel flap of the other one. So that was how much I got done at chemo this morning. Of
And
the
you
heel
knit
flap.
the rest of it? No,
In
you
the
didn't.
car.
You were knitting something else at Unravel, weren't you?
Yeah. So I, unfortunately, I won't show because people get a bit, some people might be a bit, might be a trigger for them. But they had to do a blood test and I couldn't knit afterwards. So, yes. So, if I do 2 and you do 1 and then I do 2 and you do 1, yeah? So my second sock whip that is ongoing, and I actually want to only knit on these because the yarn and so it's in Living in a Little Grey Girl UK. I think she's on Instagram. Little sock triangle pyramid, isn't it? And this is yarn that was gifted, kind of gifted. We're gonna
Do a collaboration.
So this is her new colourway, Clayton, who just happens to be my favourite colour. Lucky Clayton. And the pattern that we are doing.
I work with somebody called Clayton.
Do you?
For a long time.
So these are the Maurice socks. So if we'd got this pattern out, you could have done a Maurice sock for your knit along. I think it was a Maurice Shawl KAL. Anyway, it's just Joe's lace on the front and the back of a sock, but I'll be telling you how to do it in the round because it's different
Yes.
to doing it flat. But just if you hold it, it's kind of like an angle, so it's easier to see the pattern. But this yarn is amazing. Jem, sweaters are needed in this. I didn't see her. I didn't see her to talk to at Unravel, unfortunately. It was very busy. So, yeah, so those are coming along. The pattern is in testing at the moment because it was easy for me to write for my testers because they can see the lace on the shawl, so they could do it without a picture. But I am getting this is on my list for this week.
And one of your testers has knit the shawl as well.
Yeah. So it was on my list to get the picture, the sock knitted for the picture this week. Well, hopefully they will be out towards the middle to end of March.
Cool. So the thing that I have been knitting on the most since the last podcast is a new sweater. So
it only arrived, yarn arrived in Newcastle on that day, I think.
yeah. So this is in my Sew Yarn Alicious tote bag. It's quite a big, well, it obviously holds a sweater's quantity of yarn. So it's a big corduroy with 2 handles.
Very
A
nice.
drawstring, love it. And this is my Felix.
Is there a Felix along
sweater.
going
There
on?
is a Felix along going on. It's a Sarah podcast is running a Felix along. There's also a Raglan, Grocery Girls are doing a Raglan along. And somebody else is doing a bougie sweatshirt, but I don't know whether this class is classed as bougie because
Oh yeah,
it's knit in,
that is rustic.
it's rustic yarn. It's knit in the yarn of the pattern. It's Let Loopy in colour 1416, which is this murky green
That's about right.
colour.
A bit like there.
And it's my favourite colour of the moment. So I've split for the sleeves, I've knit the body, I'm onto the sleeve. Picked up for the one sleeve. And I'm loving it. I knit the body in a day at work. So I was in a few meetings.
Have you, was that your, like how much you did?
I'd done, I think so I knit the yoke in about, it took me about 2 days to knit the yoke and get to separate for the sleeves. And then I was chatting I woke up early, my husband was snoring, I got out of bed at 5, and I knit, and I got to there on the body. So I'd done about that much, and then I got to there. I measured it. I was chatting to you before work. Put the marker in because that was 5 inches, and I wanted to do a 10-inch body. So put the marker in, knowing that all day I could just do that.
Very clever.
And know that I was getting there.
And I have to say, when I first touched it, when you got out of the bag, I thought, oh no, but I'm touching this ball, and as it warms up, it actually it feels not too bad.
And then 2 inches of rib on the bottom, and just an ordinary cast.
And then you tried it on.
Yes.
Brilliant.
It obviously needs blocking. It needs a nice soak in a warm bath. That's what it needs. Because I've seen some people, it blooms beautifully, and I've seen some people's, and not necessarily Felix knitting it, but I've seen sweaters knitting it, and it's
because people love it for the colour work, don't they?
Yeah. And so the Felix is a raglan, and it's not your standard raglan. The lace does the increases. So you do this eyelet, arrow down the raglan on either side, obviously. And yeah, it's knit on 6mm needles, so it's quite a big gauge. Now you've knit a couple. I've knit one in cotton Aran, and it's so much heavier than this.
My first one I knitted was in Drops Air, which is a blown yarn, and it's lovely.
It pills.
It pills really badly though. Then I knitted one in Mungo by Rosa Pomar, and that is a cotton merino blend, and it's my favourite one actually, but it's definitely an open gauge. And then I knitted.
Do you catch things on it? Is it not
the
that
worst
open?
one for doing that is the one that I knitted with 2 strands of 4-ply cotton. Really cheap Drops cotton, and I love it, but it's cropped with dresses. That catches, and it's also sewing ends in cotton is just, it looks really shabby. And then I knitted the alpaca silk, Surrey alpaca silk that I gave to you. So I've knitted 4. And this yarn, because it's 100% wool and it's only very loosely spun, you can split splice. And that's the first time I've ever done that. So I've got no end. I've just got the 2 ends. And then picking up for this.
Yeah, so hardly any ends to sew in, even though I've used...
These are 6 balls.
That's the
5th ball.
4th ball. 5th ball. I've got 4
You got
balls
yours
left.
from Wool Warehouse, didn't you?
I got mine from Wool Warehouse.
They have a range of, there's a load of colours, aren't there?
And I realised that I picked a colour of the sweater that I just finished.
But it's completely different.
It is completely different, and it's...
and you'd also wear that for different reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love it. I see more in my future with Let Loki. In fact, I've already found a pattern that I really like, but it's in Finnish.
So if anybody speaks Finnish and wants to translate?
Well, next weekend we're going to Yorkshire Yarn Fest, and Vera Valimaki is going to be there to teach a class and be on Sophie's stand with her new shawl design. Not sure she's going to have time to go through my pattern and tell me the numbers.
Didn't say anything about somebody else.
Yeah, my cup of knitting. So yeah, I will find a way to work it out. I mean, it is a round yoke sweater with a pattern, and most of it's done on a chart. So I don't think I would. I can probably work it out with the help of Google. That wonderful invention. So yeah, so that's my Felix. Actually, I've got a picture.
Well, I've knitted one on a
Oh, the picture's rubbish.
Picture's really dark. Just look on Ravelry. It's always in the top 20. Hot right now.
Yeah.
Won't be difficult to find. There's a cardigan version as well.
Yes.
In case you prefer a cardigan. Cool. Right. So my next whip is test knit for Joanna.
And are you actually testing, or are you just?
I found some mistakes.
Did you?
Yeah. I told you about them.
What mistake did you find? I don't remember.
You'd copied and pasted something and it wasn't relevant to this shawl.
I think you need to write it in the chat because
Oh,
I'm only
okay.
looking in the chat.
I told you about it on WhatsApp.
Yes. But...
Right, so I'm using, this is going to be a sample for the Wool Kitchen. And I'm using their beautiful, this is just mind-blowingly beautiful blue mohair, which is called She-Witch, I think. No, She's Electric, not She-Witch. She's Electric, because she's a witches, aren't they, anyway? And this is Bioluminescence.
Wow.
Which is definitely more like that than like that. And I'm doing the Fizzy Pop shawl. I'm doing a shawl. That's the right way round. And I'm on just about to the end of section 2. And I haven't managed to do any for a few days, so I will be on it.
I have got another whip. I've got my Fizzy Pop.
Oh, right. We can go and get it in a minute.
Okay.
I will be on it. What do they say? On it like a Scotch bonnet. This week in the evenings, because I've got other stuff to do in the day, but I will do a bit tonight.
Shall I go and get mine quick?
And and it's living in the bag that I bought at Waltham Abbey, which I forgot to show last time.
Oh, cool. Talk about that then.
So this is from BotanicalYarns, and it's a, I would say, sock, beginning of a shawl size, and it's got these lovely peacocks on it. And I live in a street with peacock in the name, so I love it. And Balika makes the most. They're beautiful bags, and in my opinion, she doesn't charge enough. So anyway, there you go. Good value and beautifully made. And she has so many lovely fabrics, doesn't she?
Yes.
And she does zippered ones, drawstring ones, and yeah. So you hold in the shawl. It's a mohair. It's a 4-ply shawl with a I-cord edge, which you make at the same time, and you do these little pops. You call them pops. We're calling them on the WhatsApp, on the Instagram group. This is, you hold mohair double, don't you?
Yeah.
And yeah, very good pattern, Jo. It's very, very addictive, and there's the simple bit, and then you rush to get through the simple bit to get to the pop at the end. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it, even though I wish I had more time to spend on it, because it's fighting between that and the Maurice socks at the moment, I have to say.
So I'm also knitting another Fizzy Pop. I thought I'd join in with my testers, and I'm keeping mine in a Stephen West make-along bag. It says, "You're a knitter, baby." It's really cute. It's got this little side handle so you can walk along.
Yeah.
with your knitting if you want to. Cool. And I'm knitting mine in murky green. So the yarn is Alpaca 2 from Isaiah in the colour Time.
Lovely.
And this, I love this yarn. It's quite,
It's a light finger.
yeah,
isn't it?
it's quite thin. It's 250 meters for 50 grams. So it's a very light fingering. I didn't do a swatch because
Shorts on.
I'm hoping it's going to bloom a little bit.
It will bloom. It does bloom. I knitted my girl's best friend in it.
Right, it's good to know then. And then I'm also, for my pops, I'm holding, don't have the ball band.
Is it the same? No.
It's Isaiah lace,
silk mohair,
which I'm knitting from either end of because I need to hold it double. And I'm also including some olive sequins that I put into my Material Girl sweater that I've just finished. And this, we bought these at Lindy Hobby. Don't know the brand, but they do lots of colours.
Yeah.
You got some like blush ones, didn't you?
No, mine are beige.
Are they? Yeah, I thought they were blush pink. Anyway, these are lovely.
I think it's called grey.
They've got there's a sequin every sort of 2 inches, inch and a half, and this is what it's knitting up like.
So you're holding that single?
I'm holding the sequin single and the mohair double,
yeah,
with the alpaca 2.
So you can see. Can you see it's twinkly? Yes, you can. Very nice. That'll be amazing on, won't it?
Yeah. So I've just started section 3. So I'm beating you.
You are. That's fine. You've got enough test knitters.
Yeah. There's still weeks left of the test as well. Nearly the whole rest of March. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this. I've only got this much yarn with me here. I'm staying with Veitch for the week. So once I've knit that, I'm going to have to move on to back to my Felix sleeves, I guess.
Very good.
But yeah, loving it. Gonna have a very luxurious shawl to go with a very rustic sweater.
You could go with the other one.
Yes.
And my last, I suppose it's almost an acquisition, except I was knitting on this weekend at Unravel. But I wanted you to see a little bit of Unravel in this video, just in case you don't watch the other one. So I was knitting a sock while I was on the stand, Botanical Yarn stand. I was sat knitting the Unravel colourway into a vanilla sock. And it's these neon speckles. And I've just got onto the heel flap on that one as well.
So Rachel's version was a reject skein with a bit more blue in it than the
yeah, too much blue.
So yeah, if you bought the Unravel colourway and you're knitting it, you won't have quite as much blue in yours. But as we know, Rachel is a blue lover. So,
but also, I think Sophie has got. There are some skeins on the website. So have a look if you like it, or if you came to Unravel and you missed out. Have a look on Botanical Yarn just in case there may be a chance to get some. And I'm enjoying knitting it so much because I forget how much I love kind of like pale yarn with
a pop of colour.
Yeah, because like I love this orangey oranger pink. It's like that neon highlight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when you get one of those, it just makes my heart sing. So thoroughly enjoy it, and I will finish them.
Cool.
So we're going to YYF on Saturday and Sunday, but we're not on the Botanical Yarn stand, so I won't have to sit and knit. But I probably will be bringing these to knit on.
And that bag is also from.
And I've just remembered, are we talking about new designs?
We haven't got that on the list, but we can.
Have you got anything now? Because I could talk about a sweater, just in case anyone wants to test it.
Okay. Did you bring it?
Yeah, it's here.
Okay. Let me talk about my last whip.
Okay.
So this was what I was knitting on the Unravel at Unravel on Sophie's stand. I won't show you the bag because that was an acquisition. This was an acquisition at the last Unravel, I think. It's one of Sophie's yarns. It's a beautiful rose gold kind of colour with some mustards and some murky green and the odd pop of burgundy. And I absolutely love it.
That would make a lovely shawl.
It doesn't have a name, it's one of a kind. Yeah, and then I'm holding it together with this Isaiah mohair, which I do have the tag of. And it's colourway,
it might be my
62.
Favourite. It might be my favourite colour.
I think it's the mohair I used in my Bolshan by Caitlin Hunter. And together it's knitting up into a 1x1 rib hat. And you can see how much difference the mohair makes. I'm absolutely loving it. I have a murky green quilted coat. This is going to look great with it. Can't wait. It's pooling a little bit.
Yeah.
But I don't care. Yeah, so this is just so nice to knit on because it's so soft.
Yeah, because that all depends on how many stitches you've got, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like
So this is the classic ribbed beanie by Purl Soho. It's designed to be worn either, I guess, very slouchy or with a cuff, with it to the turn up. And I'm planning on knitting it a bit shorter because I don't want to wear it with a turn up. Although, what do you think?
I don't know.
Don't know.
I personally prefer them just.
Yeah. So yeah, and I've got a little stitch marker I made myself out of some little tourmaline gems that I bought in Marrakesh. And we had that lovely trip to Marrakesh together. And then I've got a progress keeper from Lilliput Makes or Lilliput. Can't remember. I've got the rest of them.
It's all scavenged, isn't it?
Yeah, I bought them at Unravel. And it's sea glass.
Yeah.
Cool. So that's my whip. So what acquisitions do you have that weren't from Unravel?
No.
Okay.
I've just got my jet sweater.
Well, mine was you got some yarn that I got you.
Oh yeah, but that's not
yeah,
interesting. So we don't usually do this, but like show a design. What's happening? Oh, that's right. But I've got a new sweater pattern design that it's a sweater that I've designed in collaboration with Sophie from BotanicalYarn to be released at Knit City Montreal, and in the next couple of weeks I'm going to be looking for test knitters. So if you're interested in knitting a top-down raglan with some lace at quite high, it's on 6mm needles. It's 4-ply and mohair held together throughout, and it's fairly cropped for me anyway. It's about a 11-inch body, including the rib. And yeah, so it's just a classic kind of raglan, except you put this panel in between the increases on the front raglan. The back is plain, and then it's just got a slightly decreased sleeve. I wanted it to be, it's a 3/4 length sleeve, and it's not tight, shall we say. So the size that this is a 50-inch bust, finished bust, and I designed it to be worn with 4 to 10 inches of positive ease, depending on what your style is. And we all tried it on, didn't we, this weekend, and it looked lovely on all of us.
I didn't actually see the pictures Sophie took of me.
No, she hasn't sent them to me yet either, to get them. Anyway, now I need to go and finish writing the pattern and working out how much yarn each size uses and all that. So that will take me a week or so, I think. It's a fairly simple pattern, to be honest. And then, yeah, I'll be putting out a call for testers on Instagram. But if you're interested, just send me an email. Our email's below. And yeah, it'd be great. We really welcome people who want to test the pattern. A few people have already who are unravelled,
particularly if you're a larger
bust.
Yeah,
we always find it harder to fill those slots. Yeah. So I guess.
Or you would knit one for somebody with that, so you'd want to test a larger size.
And I'm sure that Sophie will be giving a discount code for testers to buy the yarn from her. And that's a 50-inch finished bust, and it took less than 2 skeins of mohair and 2 skeins of 4-ply. So yeah, I'm excited about it, and I've got yarn to knit my own. That's a sample for Soph, and my colour, which we will show you in the next video, but it's called Candy Tuft, so we're calling it the Candy Tuft sweater at the moment. We may, as well till it's released, so we may come up with a better name. But yeah, so that's exciting, I think, for me.
So no acquisitions.
No acquisitions.
Just, we were going to chat about some podcasts that we've enjoyed recently. And first of all, there's Bex Creates. We're very happy to see Bex back podcasting. She's been knitting lots of lovely things for her baby boy, due in June.
And we need to start knitting for
her.
we
do. It's lovely to see her getting excited about her baby and getting everything ready for him. So that's lovely.
Yeah, and on one episode she's knitted him a penguino. What's they called?
Penguino?
No. Penguino. So that's really cute.
Yeah. And I've also been watching there's some people doing I don't know, it's not vlog February, but February vlogs.
Valentine vlogs.
So Gemma Darling's Daily is doing Valentine's vlogs, and it's a Sarah who's a Dutch lady.
We've talked about them.
Yeah,
before.
she's doing she's doing a vlog for every day in February. She loves the Advent vlogs, or Vlogmas, whatever people call it, but she is too busy in December to do it. So she was saying how for February she likes the idea of doing it in February when everything's a bit grey and a bit, but she cheers her up. So I've been watching some of those. She's also doing the Felix along, which when you're knitting a Felix, it's nice to see how somebody's doing with theirs. And what else do I like? I've liked Tales from Cuckoo Land. Did a little vlog about her. She had a solitude weekend, where she stayed in a shepherd's hut, and she planned a few.
Did she have creature comforts?
Yeah,
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, no, it was. She'd bought herself some nice food to eat, and it's all about having 48 hours on her own, because she has quite a busy life with her 3 boys and her husband and dogs and everything else, chickens and what else she's got. Yeah, it was nice to see that her little home from home for a bit, and I always like. She said I think she's a very, very funny gainer. So it's always fun to watch her podcast.
Yeah. I watched all through Vlogmas. I've kind of been on a bit of a podcast. It sounds awful because we do one and we'd love people to watch us, watch ours and stuff. But yeah, I haven't been binging like I normally would. So like I normally watch everyone's as they immediately like post them.
So the ones that I really miss when they're not on are the Knitting Place. So Dinah and Pam from the Knitting Place, they podcast every
Tuesday morning.
Well, it always comes through on a Tuesday morning for me. And my husband always used to go to London on a Tuesday morning, so he'd get up at 5 and I'd wake up and get a cup of coffee and sit and knit in bed and watch Dinah and Pam. And there's been a few weeks, a couple recently, where it's been a bit sporadic because they've had holidays or I watched them live last week because they were podcasting earlier, so I managed to catch them live. And I just love their dynamic. And they mention us at minute 42.
I love their dynamic. She read my comment out loud.
And I usually watch Andrea Mowry. This week I watched Hohi's
Hohi's keynote speech.
Yeah, that was really good.
Vogue Knitting Live.
I haven't watched much else this week.
You might go to Vogue Knitting Live next year, might you?
I don't know. I'd like to go.
I'd like to go as well, but yeah.
Cool. So is that it for this?
Yeah. So just a little bit of I was just thinking like a little bit of life and what's going on. We met some lovely people at Unravel, which we will talk about in the thing, but we did meet some people who recognised us, which is quite exciting. And Joe's here for a whole week with me. We've been away together. We've been away together for 10 days, won't we?
I have to work Tuesday and Wednesday in the day.
Yeah. So
and then Friday we're driving.
I'll be pattern writing.
Friday we're driving up to York.
And we're staying in a cottage with the people we met at the knitting hotel, the ladies. So there's 7 of us in a cottage for the weekend. Sounds like it's going to be. Well, they are hysterical. So we're going to have a lovely time doing that, and thanks to Joe for doing all the driving. Can't drive at the moment, and I had chemo today, but everything's going really well. I feel they were happy with me. My obs were normal, shall we say? And so now I haven't got to go for another 3 weeks, so we can not forget about it, but
get on with pattern writing.
Yeah, get on with life.
Yeah,
and leaving our husbands to fend for themselves. Oh, Mark's lucky because we're going out tonight, and you're.
Well, I'm quite surprised. My husband last night made himself pasta. Which is just cooking some pasta and stirring a jar of sauce in. What did he say he was having tonight?
Something with boiled potatoes. Salmon?
No.
He was boiling some potatoes.
Yeah. What was he having with it? I can almost guarantee he's not cooking a piece of salmon. Not on a Monday.
No. Chicken?
I can't remember what he said. And then tomorrow he's having steak. He's cooking himself a steak.
Oh, it could be a disaster.
It could be a disaster. He's not. He's a bit challenged. And I've let him. I'm an enabler.
Yeah, I'm an enabler too. Well, I'm not an enabler, I'm a control freak.
I'm a control freak. I like to eat my own food.
Yeah.
But there we go. So he can feed himself. It's quite okay for me to leave him on his own for a few days. But yeah. What is happening with his boiled potatoes?
We'll find out and tell you in the on screen.
Yeah.
So
cool. Thank you, everybody.
If you've got to this point. Give us a thumbs up, it really helps. And subscribe if you don't subscribe.
Yeah. And so the next part is going to be lots of acquisitions and some chat about Unravel Festival.
Yeah.
There won't be any FOs or any of that in that one.
No.
So yeah, come and see the second part if you want to hear about Unravel.
Yeah. Cool. Take care, everyone. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.